It happens. It's okay. It happens.
Okay. Alright, astagfirullahaladzim. Ya Allah, ampun. Pagi-pagi. Oh, sorry, sorry.
Okay, Prof boleh
Share.
cuba share.
Uh,
Okay, dah okay dah. Prof
dah
cuba
okay.
uh, what do you call presentation mode.
Okay, okay.
Slideshow. Sorry.
Okay, okay.
Ya, dah tak ada dah grey screen.
Yeah.
Boleh boleh bagi saya tips macam mana nak hilangkan benda tu?
Saya terpaksa restart komputer saya. Lepas tu saya buka refresh, lepas tu buat start all over again. Sebab kadang-kadang benda tu
Okay, restart.
overlapping. Jadi kena restart je.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Alright.
Okay. Okay, this is my
So kalau
presentation.
Prof nak tukar background Prof, Prof boleh
Uh,
guna background ini, yang warna purple ni. Kalau
okay,
I'll introduce you, Prof.
okay ni tak ada video, just basic presentation saja lah. Saya dah run through dalam 20 minit, 20 minit je pun.
Tak, Prof. Ada lagi benda tu.
Keluar lagi eh?
Apa lagi?
Macam mana eh?
Kenapa
Dia,
ya?
dia yang ni, dia you punya is a host tau. Macam gambar you kat sini ni. Kejap, kejap,
Boleh tak keluarkan gambar saya tu?
kejap saya ambil,
Boleh tarik ke
kejap.
ataupun pergi ke apa dekat view tu boleh hide panels ke? I don't know. Kena mungkin Prof boleh cuba alihkan ataupun dalam screen Prof tu belah
Hmm?
kanan Prof boleh pergi ke layout.
Okay, kejap eh.
Okay. Ya, boleh tak cuba macam so
Boleh tak je ni?
yeah, I can see that. So can you like remove that pop-up, the window?
Uh, ya, macam mana?
Yeah, okay, mine is removed already. Prof
Uh,
punya pun kita alihkan ke bawah.
okay.
Cuba just alihkan ke bawah, tarik ke bawah. Ataupun satu lagi kaedah mungkin boleh cuba layout, klik layout kat tepi belah kanan, and then kita cuba layout side by side ke.
Okay, kejap eh.
Kita explore. Kita ada masa lagi 8 minit. And then
Alright,
kita
alright.
go.
Hilang pula way back ni mana? Aduh.
Apa?
Mana pergi way back ni? Boleh hilang macam tu je. Okay, layout eh. Saya pergi layout sini.
Kita ada masa lagi 8 minit.
Pergi side by side eh.
Cuba.
Okay, saya pergi share. And okay tak macam ni?
Cuma gambar prof lah kat bawah tu rasanya. Yang itu je kita tarik bawah.
Tarik bawah eh.
Prof buat full screen, Prof.
Sekejap. Hilang tak?
At least it's down. It's below the screen, so
Below the
it's not
screen, eh?
visible when you are presenting. So it's okay. It happens.
Okey. Okey, saya cuba yang nak background tu. Hopefully sempat ni.
Okay, we
Sekejap
have
eh.
another 6 minutes.
Okey. Kejap saya tengok.
Okay, yang ini saya nampak semua grey. Kenapa ya?
Alamak. Actually lah, saya rasa saya kekalkan dulu ni. Uh,
Okay.
to be honest, saya tak pernah experience benda macam ni. Biasa lancar je.
Tak apa.
Ha?
Tak apa.
Tak apa,
Okay.
saya cuba kekalkan background ni. Sebab saya rasa
Prof, tapi saya nampak semua grey. The whole screen is grey. Kenapa ya?
saya tak tahu. Saya tak tukar apa-apa lagi.
Okay, Prof stop sharing dulu. Dan kita share semula.
Okay.
Okay, Prof cuba share sekali lagi. Kita ada
Okay,
4
ni
minit.
hilang dah grey.
Dah hilang dah grey tu dah hilang.
Ya. Share.
Yang bawah tu kena tarik. Okay. Prof cuba share.
Okay. So, kadang-kadang khawatir takut tengah presentation kan tiba-tiba dapat grey ni tu kan. Because we as a presenter, kita tak perasan tau.
Betul,
Uh,
betul.
dan mana ni kan.
Baiklah. Kita dah
Sebab
boleh.
tu kalau dalam kelas, walaupun saya ada account Webex, saya prefer Google Meet. Dia walaupun dia free kan, tapi dia uh, lebih reliable lah daripada
Lebih
Webex.
user friendly. Betul,
Yes, yes.
betul.
Okay, it's never mind. So
Ah,
hopefully,
so Prof boleh stop sharing dulu supaya saya boleh saya akan introducekan Prof and then and then Prof boleh share lah. Okay, nanti kita tengok soalan dari para peserta kita sebenarnya. Okay?
okay. So saya stop share dulu eh.
Ya, Prof.
Okay, baik.
Kita ada 3 minit lagi. Prof
Okay,
boleh
okay.
minum air sikit.
Okay, alright. Dr. Umar asal mana?
Saya saya tinggal di Kajang. Saya dibesarkan di Kajang.
Oh, okay.
Lahir di Kuala Lumpur lah tapi dibesarkan di Kajang.
Oh.
Sekadar dengan putra dia tak jauh sangat lah.
Ya, ya. Sekarang macam 5 minit, 10 minit dah sampai dah tu. Dia lalu bypass tu kan. Sangat dekat lah.
Tak juga walaupun dari segi kilometer tu 28 kilometer tapi 45 minit jugalah
Oh, okay.
sebab trafik.
Okay, okay.
Saya membesar di Kajang. Prof pula orang mana?
Saya memang orang Johor. But
Oh, memang
back
orang Johor.
in 1990s, I've been working with Petronas for 5 years. 91 to 96, 97 macam tu lah. And I live at Ceras Jaya. Masa
Oh,
tu, Ceras Jaya Jalan Balakong tu, masa tu perumahan baru lah. Uh, tapi sekarang kalau lalu Ceras Balakong tu, jalan dah 2 lane. Nak masuk pun payah. Kalau dulu memang senang lah.
ah,
That
ah,
was
ah.
30 years ago. Almost 30,
Ya,
40 years
ya.
ago. Ha.
Ya. Correct. Dah banyak berubah. Banyak sangat berubah tempat tu.
Ya, ya. Terus, sorry, saya ingatkan dulu, saya terbayangkan Cerah Jaya tu. Yes, Kajang is a bit further ke atas tu.
Kajang lebih further. Tapi tak jauh lah Ceras dengan Kajang tu.
But it's good lah. Sekarang kan kita nak elakkan traffic jam kan. One of the reason saya balik Johor pasal nak elak traffic jam. Dulu Cerah Jaya tu dari bumi masa tu kan. It's about 20 kilometer juga. But
20 minutes ya.
travelling in the morning kena keluar sebelum 6.45 untuk punch in 8.30. So uh, takut lah dia punya tak boleh how long can I survive kan. So Alhamdulillah dapat kerja kat UTM pindah sini lah. Tapi kerja mana-mana sama je. Soal duit tu is a matter of living style, lifestyle kan. So kalau kita duit banyak pun tapi boros, nak yang branded, nak ni, of course berapa banyak pun tak cukup juga. Tapi kalau it's depend on the individual lah. I cannot say
Ya,
anything.
betul.
So you dah family?
Yeah, I have a daughter. She's turning 10 this year.
Oh, oh very good. Saya dah ada cucu dua dah.
Ada ya? Huh?
Saya dah ada cucu dua dah.
Wow, that's nice.
Cucu.
How old are they?
One year, both were born last year. So setahun lah tahun ni dua.
Oh, okay. Pandemic babies lah. They were born during the pandemic.
Ah, betul lah tu.
Okay, Prof. Alright,
Okay.
okay, Prof. So,
Okay.
Prof dah bersedia? Kita akan
InsyaAllah boleh.
bermula.
Okay,
Boleh?
boleh.
Okay, alright. Okay, biasa tekan butang record dulu sebelum saya
Okay.
buka.
Okay.
Okay. Honorable Directors of Polytechnics and Community Colleges, distinguished panel speaker, lecturers from Polytechnics and Community Colleges, webinar participants, the dedicated organizing team behind the TVET Digital Revolution, Innovative Teaching and Learning for Industry Changes due to Industry 4.0 webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. Welcome to Day 2 of TVET Digital Revolution, Innovative Teaching and Learning for Industry Changes due to Industry 4.0 webinar. Firstly, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Umawathy. You can call me Dr. Uma, and I'm the moderator for today. I'm from the Instructional Unit, Instructional and Digital Learning Division, Department of Polytechnic and Community College Education. I'm here from Putrajaya, based in Putrajaya, and we are under the purview of Ministry of Higher Education of Malaysia. I'm speaking to you live from our SAP studio in Putrajaya, in Bangunan Galleria, Precinct 4 Putrajaya. Okay, so before we start, I would like everyone to recite their dua, and we'll observe a moment of silence to seek for blessings from the Almighty for the success of our webinar today. Okay. Distinguished webinar participants, Malaysia, we know, needs to evolve and innovate continuously in order to become a digital nation that is prosperous and resilient. This means the supply of our talent and skills are required to drive both the digital economy and the 4IR technology adoption. So, a strong TVET ecosystem will be a game changer that will create future-ready talent in meeting industry demand. Allow me to recap the incredible sessions we had yesterday for just a couple of minutes for the benefit of those who joined us today. Right? Prof, did you join us yesterday?
Yes.
I saw your name in the attendance.
Yeah.
All right. So, Prof, yesterday morning, we started off the webinar series this week with an opening speech from Dr. Zainal Ashar bin Zainal Abidin, the Director of the Instructional and Digital Learning Division. And then during the first slot, we listened to Prof. Ramli Mustafa from UPSI, who touched on the potential of 4IR enabling technologies. And then during the second slot, I shared my take on flipping classrooms with 4IR technologies embedded into your lessons. And also in the afternoon, we had two fruitful sessions with speakers from Mauritius and speakers from ILO in Italy and ILO in Switzerland, in Geneva. Right? So the team and I sincerely believe that the sessions yesterday had ignited more ideas on innovative teaching and learning among the audience. Right now, just now at 9 a.m., we had two experienced gentlemen with us, Mr. Eng Swee from Festo Student Berhad Malaysia and Mr. Fu Tek Hong from Festo Didactic Asia Pacific, who is based in Singapore, and they shared with us the potential of Festo LX in TVET education. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in the 12th Malaysia Plan for the TVET sector, emerging technologies will be leveraged to complement existing hands-on teaching and learning activities as well as R&D conducted in labs and workshops. However, the pertinent question is, how can we make learning more meaningful for students? To answer this, today we have with us Associate Professor Dr. Khata bin Jabor, who's an Associate Professor of Entrepreneurship in the Department of Technical and Engineering Education, Faculty of Education at Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. He has taught undergraduate and postgraduate students over 10 subject areas, including basic commerce, consumer behavior, education administration, entrepreneurship, HR management, micro teaching, program evaluation, and even workshop safety and management. In the last 10 years, he has taught more than 60 courses to more than 1,000 students. He has also conducted research in the areas of entrepreneurial mindset, student development, financial sustainability, and entrepreneurship in TVET education. His research work has been presented in various national and international conferences, published in Web of Sciences and Scopus journals, and some have been converted into chapters in books. Right, so without further ado, I welcome Prof to our webinar series. How are you doing today?
Okay, Alhamdulillah, and thank you for inviting me. Okay, shall I start or okay?
Yeah, okay, so I just want to say thank you, Prof, for taking your time off, to do the sharing session for the benefit of lecturers at Malaysian polytechnics and community colleges. So over to you, Prof. I've already given you the sharing privileges. I would humbly request you if you could speak a bit louder, or if you
Okay.
can get closer to the mic, that would be very
Okay.
helpful. All right?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
for the audience, they can type in their questions into the chat.
Okay.
Are you able to share, Prof?
Yes. Okay. First and foremost, thank you to the moderator, Dr. Umar, for introducing me to be such a very good presenter. And then to the Honorable Director General, to the esteemed audience, lecturers of Polytechnic, I appreciate to be part of this webinar innovative for teaching and learning for industry changes due to RR 4.0. I'm excited to share a bit of my experience and my knowledge to you all. All right. The format of my presentation will be like a short article journal where it will consist of a bit background and then followed by problem statement, objective, and the method how I gather the informations and the results, a bit of discussion and conclusion. So it doesn't mean that this format is better than other. It's up to the presenter. Because sometimes the presenter want to be focused on certain thing and to let know the audience how they got the information and to share the information regarding what is about the topic discussed. All right. I think during this seminar, you will see this often, the history and the history of IR from IR 1.0 to 2.0, 3.0, and to the latest 4.0. So it's almost more than 200 years the development of IR industrial revolution. So if you can see this, I think about 1784, and the latest for IR is 2010, begin 2010. So we have come a long history in industrial revolution. So just allow me to share a little bit about the industrial revolution before we go to the real topic of how to enhance the industrial training. All right, the technology progress has been the engines of the development of human society. Basically, this is what I are about, the technological progress. Over time, economic development have evolved in parallel with the evolution of technology. These evolutions have been marked by four major leaps known as industrial revolutions, generated by major inventions. These inventions are for example, like the first one, it's very popular with the steam engine. Then electricity, back for the second one in 1914. And then there is the digitalizations and using information technology, culminating in the significant advances made in the informations and communication technologies, ICT field, at the end of the 20th century. Together with the advance and mass generalizations of the internet, which led to the fourth general industrial revolution. So as we can see, all these are due to the technological progress to make our life easier, to increase our productivity, uh, and to make our life better as a whole. So changing tasks for the adapting new jobs created that are sustainable in the market and in the complex economic development. So from the first one to the fourth one, the challenge has been adapting new jobs. Of course, some will be redundant. Some new jobs will be offered. People had fear of technological unemployment. For every industrial revolution, it has led to the replacement of worker skills by simplifying their tasks. Industry 4.0 is a global change for each part of the company through digitalization and automation, as well as through the manufacturing processes. So, with this, some background about the IR, basically for this presentation, the implementation of new technologies affects both employees operating industries as well as organizations. Regardless of the phase of IR, there are 6 fields of effective human resource practices that play essential roles in organization, namely knowledge management, HR policy, training, recruiting, reward system, and job design. So all these 6 must go together to have an effective human resources. And one of it is training, where organization could improve the performance by equipping the workforce with up-to-date skills. So in this presentation, the focus will be on training, specifically how to enhance industrial experience for industry changes due to IR 4.0. From the above problem statement, the objective of this presentation is to understand the following issues: identifying the main types of influences of IR 4.0 on enhancing industrial experience for industry changes, and second is identifying the main opportunities and challenges for new directions in training required by shifting the work environment in the IR 4.0. So hopefully by fulfilling these two objectives, we can answer the problem statement, that is how to enhance industrial experience for industry changes due to IR 4.0. So in gathering the information for this presentation, a relevant literature review was conducted to provide an overview of the research to date related to how to enhance industrial experience for industry changes due to IR 4.0. The literature review is a method used to identify, evaluate, and synthesize the current situations of specific research topic in the specialized literature. The Web of Science database and Scopus database were selected due to its broad coverage. In addition, a partial search of grey literature in Google Scholar was also performed. The time frame for literature reviewed was between 2006 to 2021. And the keywords used were industrial experience 4.0, human capital development, and training for IR. So this is basically how I use the method that I use to gather the informations for this presentation. So the results, we have come to the results, the focus of these presentations. Regarding the objective one, the influence of IR 4.0 on enhancing industrial experience, industry changes. Basically, the IR 4.0 is about digitalizations. If we can describe one word for IR 1.0, IR 2.0, IR 3.0, and IR 4.0, the IR 1.0, the one word may be steam engine, for example. Yeah, the IR 2.0 is replication or repetition. That is mass production of certain product. For IR 3.0, maybe we can say computer or automations. And then for IR 4.0, we can summarize in one word with the words of digitalization. Yes, we have what we call it 3D computer. We have this uh, soft data, this and this, but all come to one word, digitalizations. So digitalization has caused significant changes in the socio-economic environment, but especially in terms of employment. However, empirical evidence from the literature that I reviewed doesn't show that this will generate mass unemployment. On the contrary, employment level shows remarkably robust developments in terms of both the number of employees and the hours worked. New jobs will replace traditional roles, and new business models will appear. For example, like when the e-hailing appeared, the taxi driver, almost all taxi drivers has been replaced. That's mean almost no job for the taxi drivers. But at the same time, the e-hailing drivers are more than the taxi drivers itself. So although there is a little bit of unemployment, but there is other jobs that replaces the existing job. New jobs will replace traditional roles, and new business models will appear. Likewise, when we have like e-commerce platforms such as Lazada, Amazon, eBay, we might have a limited number of shops, but there are a lot of opportunities for all people to do business online. Yeah. Basically, digitalization as a long-term evolutionary process has many effects, such as transformations of occupations and jobs profiles, changes in forms of employment, a greater role for the so-called platform economy, generating challenges for social policy. New and emerging technologies led to the automations of jobs and the rise of entrepreneurships, causing radical transformations as labor markets. So actually, this is only a small part of the influences of IR 4.0 on enhancing industrial experience industry changes. For results objective number 2, which is also important to answer our problem statement, the main opportunities and challenges for new directions in training required by shifting the work environment in the IR 4.0. Automations and robotization in production processes will mainly affect the sectors of workers whose work is repetitive and routine, leading to the loss of many jobs, mainly affecting employers with lower educations. Basically, here is we will be encouraged to do the high-end skills, maybe a high pay and easier for all the workers. Students or workers will have to acquire a different or completely new sets of skills to cope with these transformations in production processes. This can help increase employment, but at the same time, it will generate a large sector of workforce. I will explain more here. Okay. Uh, Again, here we found that decision is the area seems to affect the entire economic and social environment on the broadest scale. Yeah, at the level of labor market, it requires a new set of skill needed to meet the requirements of emerging types of work, such as platform work, as well as imposing new approaches, especially in new higher educations. At the level of higher education, as a result of intensifications of the competitions following globalizations and market opening, another new trend appears, namely its commercializations. The way to solve these problems involve rethinking of traditional learning methods. So this is the last part. Uh, this one is just example how we can overcome or how we can adapt ourselves with the skills uh, of the IR 4.0. This is just example. Studies have shown that there is a shortage of IT professionals in European labor markets. This lack of employees is mainly manifested in the advanced manufacturing sectors, where analysis of big data and cybersecurity are needed. At present, although various actions have been taken to stimulate the acquisition of e-skills, especially in developed countries, the younger generations doesn't seem particularly interested in digitalizing the workforce of working in ICT, despite the fact that they perceive the sector as being the most advantageous one. So if we can relate this to our country in Malaysia, this is almost the same, where sometimes students feel inferior, they feel that they are not qualified, they feel that the digitalization is only for certain type of people, requiring. So this is actually our job to encourage and uh, uh, to explain to them that in order to survive in the future job market, they have to learn about this ICT that is going on right now. Yes, they have to have the skill of basic electrical engineering and so on and so forth. But uh, 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 okay, I go to the second one. Okay, discussion. The pace of technological innovation has very high values, and workforce are changing faster than ever. While acquiring new skills has become far more important than having the right credentials, which creates new pressures both on labor market and educational system. Even people who know how to use and operate technology are required to renew and expand their skills and competencies. The key seems to be the education system, which must find new resources, methods to meet these challenges. Educated workers are not only have the skill to use new devices, but they have more flexible and can adapt more easily to the introduction of new technologies. So basically, in conclusion, to increase the pace of acquisition of new skills by employees and future employees, decision makers should consider creating IT clusters in places such as schools, libraries, or community centers. So this is basically the answer how to enhance the industrial training. This could be able to provide IT packages, infrastructure, and training for users. And this is the most important part. Such integrated efforts can more significant effects on IT productivity than a simple distribution of devices such as laptop or mobile phones in the developing region. So basically, the effort must be on the software, on the training, instead of the hardware, such as laptops and the tablets or mobile phones. So I thank you all for listening, and I welcome for any question arise from my presentation. I apologize for a bit long, uh, but hopefully it will be visual, and I'm ready for Q&A session. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Prof, for sharing. So let me just sum up the points that you made. So you mentioned that based on your research, new and emerging technologies has led to the automation of jobs and the rise of entrepreneurship, which are causing radical transformations to the labor market. You also mentioned that students will need new skills, analysis of big data and cybersecurity, for example. You
Yeah.
also mentioned about encouraging IT clusters and trying to reduce the gap, in them owning devices, for example. So this relates to a question from our audience, from Puan Habiba Ramali. She asked, how are we going to how should we prepare the younger generation to be ready with with these 4IR skills? What is your your perspective?
Okay. Thank you very
Preparing the
much.
young generation.
Okay, it's a very good question. Actually, in preparing our students or our children for IR 1.0 is start from home. I mean, start from home by knowing by letting them that the traditional jobs. If you have mechanical engineering, if you have degree in accounting, if you need some further knowledge and skills that is beyond a normal accountant, normal engineers. So basically, the key is knowing ICT. For example, like if the student is taking a statistical course from a major in statistics, so we must encourage them. What is next for statistics is like big data, analyzing this and this. So make them think big. Make them that is they should be aware that in order to get a good job, good pay, they cannot rely on their degree itself. So basically, we just cannot rely on, oh, I have a degree, then I should easy to get job. The situation is not there anymore. Yes, we still need degree. We still need basic knowledge of engineering. We still need basic knowledge of accounting, statistics, and so on. But we need to further our knowledge, or in other words, to commercialize our knowledge that we know we can fit to the current needs of the industry. Uh, yeah,
So true, Prof. I actually there is this. I think the audience can also Google this. You can see the rapid pace of technological change. What I read was
yeah,
big. Okay, see the complexity of work is getting really steep, right? So how does it
yeah,
impact? So the traditional training, right? For
yeah,
example, when we studied physics last time, we want
yeah,
to explain the concept of half life or half period of the radiating material from nuclear physics. So what we mean is the half life of radiating material states how much time will pass until half of the isotopes lose their radiation.
yes,
So whatever let's say our children are graduating from school, their knowledge will only be relevant half life of 20 years. And the time for computer knowledge, for computer technology is only
yeah,
50%. So what it means is after 1 year, 50% of the knowledge they learn in computer science has already become outdated. So that's why we need to, that's why even yesterday in my sharing, I mentioned that even
yeah,
those who are having jobs right now, they need to learn continuously, just like how people are applying for new jobs. You see that
yeah,
there is, one of our audience has written here, Nur Lailawati Osman. How to overcome the loss of jobs according to the digitalization? Because orang yang tengah bekerja pun, they are also losing jobs, and then they're competing with those who baru nak enter the workforce. So
okay,
what is your suggestion, Prof?
okay,
What do they need to do? So you mentioned about using data science, okay, kalau dia belajar statistics,
yeah,
okay, dia learn data science sikit, okay. Apa lagi
I
yang kita perlu buat? Yeah.
okay. Actually, I watched the interview of Elon Musk a few weeks ago regarding this IR and the challenges of workforce. So, to my surprise, Elon Musk says that be prepared that the government must provide unemployment fund, something like that, because in 20 years, there may be not many jobs for human being anymore. So from that, it's a bit scary. But so far, we have survived with this IR, with these industrial revolutions. But the challenge is us. For example, like the IR 3.0 is automation. It's make our job easier. Instead of labor incentive, it can be done by robot. But IR 4.0 is robot and robot are communicating each other. They are talking about design, this supply and production and so forth. We just manage and do the programming. So if we just look at that, I mean, it's quite simple that human beings are easily replaceable by robot. But if we can see at the e-commerce side, at the commercialization side, we still need basic trade or basic skills. For example, like uh, people still need human to install aircon, to build building, teaching, and so on. But maybe we have to put ourselves to the current skill. For example, like for example, like the just now to give an example, the e-hailing is very obvious that the taxi business has died already. Nobody want to own a taxi anymore because the e-hailing providing a simple, better profitability. Uh, there is not much license, ownership, and so on. So instead, the taxi driver are not happy. But if I talk to the Grab's driver, they are not shy to say that I used to drive taxi, but I cannot survive. So I buy a new car, and then I changed to Grab. So this is how they adapt and to stay employed. But in a bigger scale, some business person, they used to have like 4 or 5 boutiques, but with the existing of Lazada, Shopee, their boutiques have died down. So what happened is they still maintain the business of boutiques, but they do it at home, and their shops is converted to store, and they advertise heavily on the social media. And if not the same, they still can maintain their business. So my point is, yes, it's a huge challenge for everybody to maintain their jobs with their with the new skill, with the new digitalizations and commercialization opportunities. Okay, that's all, Dr. Toma.
So I think to sum up, Prof,
Yeah.
this I think what we can say is to upgrade your knowledge and skills so that you're on par
Yes,
with the demands of the workforce. Okay,
I
so
totally
we
agree.
will yeah. So let me just see if there are any other relevant questions. Ataupun Prof ada apa-apa yang Prof nak tambah ke?
Okay, I agree with you. Even lecturers, as us, as we are, we still have to need to stay relevant. We have to be able to conduct class online, how to make the material available for students wherever they are, whenever they are. So this is if we are not adept to these skills, our skill as a lecturer also are easily replaceable. The manager might say, "Oh, you cannot do the online class, you cannot record this, you cannot do the flipping class or mobile class or something like that." So we as a lecturer also actually have to keep up with the existing technology. With that, I
I have
really
a question. So I have a question, Prof. So how is UTM? I mean, your team or your colleagues and how are you all doing these innovations to your teaching and learning? By
okay.
using for IR.
Okay, I think we are very lucky that we also have a department or unit such as like you. where the unit has consistently providing courses for lecturers to upgrade their existing skills. For example, like how to do the flip classes, Mooch, and all these digitalization classes. So people old like me, 54 years old, have to keep up. Otherwise, the student will get angry. Why this lecturer didn't provide the online class, this and they didn't record the lecture. So the UTM has done a good job in and proactive in helping lecturers keep up with the IR 4.0. Okay. Dr. Umar, I would like to thank you again for inviting me to be part of webinar Innovative for Teaching and Learning for Industry Changes due to IR 4.0. I appreciate to be able to share a little bit of my experience and knowledge about IR 4.0.
Okay.
Thank you,
So,
Dr. Mai. Okay. And
okay, so I think, yeah, that's all. There are no any questions. So we can finish the session. I just want to say thank you again to the attendees. Oh, there is a question. Prof, there is a question. What
okay.
are the other core skills for TVET students or employees to master the digital skills? Yeah, to enhance their industrial experience.
Okay.
So what are those
Uh,
costs? Like this is something that I shared yesterday. Yeah, but Prof, yes,
okay.
please. We would like to hear your perspective. What are the
Okay,
core skills?
basically, right now, it's much easier to identify the required TVET skills by directly communicating or doing a program with the industries. For example, like uh, the industry might need up-to-date CRM courses. So maybe from there, the universities or the polytechnic can arrange what are the type of CRM courses that are related to industry. So the polytechnic and university cannot come up their own courses, hoping that the industry will follow. I think to be proactive in what is the relevant courses for TVET students, we need to engage more with the industry so that it will fulfill the student needs for learning. Yeah. For example, yeah, we have very good collaborations with one of the IT providers in JB, which is also the alumni of our university. Basically, whenever they got a project, they will approach us. Do we have this skill to help my company this and this? So basically, the lecturers will find the skills that can fulfill uh, the needs of of that particular company. So basically, it's more like what the industry wants. Then we will try to fulfill by providing the relevant courses for them.
But Puan Noraila, if you were to ask me, I think the lifelong learning skills. I think kasi kita nak adjust
I miss the
yeah,
lifelong skill. Okay, okay.
yeah. So actually SDG SDG 4. So kalau kita ada semangat untuk masuk workforce tu, kita continuously improve ourselves, kita belajar benda baru. I think that's the core. Kalau kita boleh inculcate benda ni kepada dari seawal kanak-kanak itself.
Yeah,
That investigative, finding out why something happened, those kind of things. I think that lifelong learning skills can bring students really far for them to adjust kalau apa-apa changes yang berlaku, so they can be more adaptive and more flexible. Ya, sebab kalau kita masuk kerja, kita tak nak tanya orang lain, macam mana saya, if that is not, tapi kalau kita beranikan diri, kita tanya orang, kita belajar, I think that would really, that's also very important. So kalau I would say, if you were to ask me that question, I would say lifelong learning skills will actually, be,
okay, I
I
agree.
think,
I
yeah,
agree. I
I
agree.
would, yeah, laughing
Maybe I
that,
have to focus on the certain subject area that I
yeah,
forgot the whole picture of learning. Okay, I agree, Dr. Umar.
yeah. All right, no problem. So
Okay.
I hope everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Prof.
Okay.
Khata, thank you so much for joining
Okay.
us and sharing. And to the attendees, thank you for spending your time with us. So I'll see you all at 2:30. We will have our next speaker, who's Prof. Khata's colleague, Prof. Associate Professor Technology Dr. Muhammad Safari Nurdin, and he'll be sharing with us on assessment of students' performance in the era of the digitalized world. So I'll see you all at 2:30. Thank you very, very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Prof. Take care.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone stay safe.
Okay.